Blaze doesn't have shit on this dude. Yeah, this is some gameplay.
I mean, look at how close this fucking match is. I'm already running out of cards.
Dude. Oh, what?
Come on.
What?
Oh, you being combo. By the way, that's my favorite card, the one that you call it.
No, I wanted to wait for.
What? No. No way. Oh way. Why are you doing this to me, Zayton?
I am top Churno. Genki, can you announce the stream? Is Genki even here?
Yeah, he's probably here.
Okay, so announce the stream. Yeah, alright.
We're doing high level Cirno mirrors.
I mean, people who want to join the tournament should learn from us.
Yeah,
Time to use announce.
How do you even combo with this character? What the hell?
Everything combos.
Nothing combos.
Oh no, Diamond.
Just combo.
Oh, rather. The Cirno widow. Ah, why?
Melee.
Knocked out from this.
To melee. Into melee, into 5 into another melee. Boom, blue lemon.
Okay, I will listen to that once I get out of pressure.
Look, that one got it right.
Okay,
Highlight
bullets. Not again.
How dare you highlight me?
Wait, Cirno does not have a 668? Why does she not have a 668? What?
I just hit you with the 668.
Oh,
Really
I
fast.
guess I just mistook it for a 5A or something. Oh, that's gonna hurt you, Wayne.
This is my secret movement option. It's kinda like Oku's default 2-on-4.
This is the best. This is the best movement option.
I will hit you eventually.
Ah, why did you press backwards? Why does this not have recovery? Ah. I have no idea what the fuck to do here. Like, what is this? She doesn't have buttons.
No,
Oh no, not food, not food.
I was convinced that's the other 5 card. This is the
everyone does that mistake.
I genuinely can't tell which is which.
Ah, how do I deal damage with this character?
5C.
Watch this.
But 5C doesn't do damage. Like, I mean, look at this. What?
Cirno does.
What?
Cirno does actually big damage. That's fun thing.
Cirno is actually good.
She can do actually really big damage if you want to.
But I don't understand how. Nothing combos.
She's a complex character, yeah.
No, she is not.
Oh, come
Is she
on.
supposed to be like retarded or something?
She's exactly what I would. Great character. No, 5C is pretty good.
Like, this is when two people kind of know how to play the game but have no idea about the character.
Oh, you
Why
did
is
an
that
actual
not
stream.
punishable?
That was actually a stream because you were wrong.
Oh yeah, boy.
By the way, you should not fear the mine because it has like not VP at all. It just graded 1 frame and it's gone. Oh,
With the grab? Oh man.
Okay, what other decks do I have? Because this is the yellow deck, and my yellow deck is usually just random bullshit.
I just pick random as all.
don't you have a nice card deck?
I don't know any Cirno moves. I should have something that says like soul torches and then the grab. Yay, sniped! Ah, why? How can he graze for my stuff but I can't?
What is this card? is this?
1 4 out.
Yes!
That thing.
It can graze, by the way.
Oh shit, it does?
That grazes? Broken.
I had no idea.
Just use a bullet and test it right now.
I will believe you. Oh, it's this.
Ah, not this thing. Ah, stop with your goddamn J5A land cancelling. That's the most disgusting thing in the game.
Why can't I hit with this?
Because I know you're going to fish for it.
I have no... Okay, whatever. Well, I actually didn't see my character.
Come on, kill it. No! No! Oh,
Waste of cards.
why? This shouldn't have happened. It's not like this. Also, is everyone here ready? And Chirumiru, are you watching this sad show?
Yes, I'm watching.
I'm so sorry.
We leave you speechless, I know, with our tremendous skill.
What is this J5A?
It's actually really good.
Yeah, it is.
But what are the bullets? These bullets are... I can't use them, I have no idea what the hell they do. Diamond dust on Misty Lake in the Cirno, yeah, we can see everything.
Use more machine gun.
I just want to hit him with the fucking 2-1-4, dude.
You won't.
Yes!
Fuck you. Every single time. Why do I get hit by memes?
Hey man, that ult's not bad. Come on. Wow, the combo.
Really? A J5A killing me?
Soton is
combo.
born Cirno.
Alright. I don't know, I guess it's kinda easy for me to see what combos and what doesn't. At least with this character.
For me, it feels like nothing combos at all.
See, this is a skill I learned for playing like only one character for 5 years. Maybe you should consider doing that.
Play her like Oku.
Okay, pressing 5A. Well, didn't work as well as I wanted it to. Alright, I've got this attack. Okay, that's 2B basically doesn't exist, understood. What?
She doesn't have a 2A, what the fuck?
Was that 2A a kick?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's not a kick, it's a fucking nut.
Oh,
I mean, if you 6D 2A, but you definitely can't use it as a 50 button.
yeah. Better force fucking food away. Not like this.
Oh, you're fucking jumping after every bullet.
Wake up, DP. You just thought, voice.
Alright, she has a 2-2, I completely forgot.
Wake up, grab like a real fighter.
What kind of fighting games are you even playing? What the fuck?
See, and again, you're fucking jumping after a bullet.
Of course, because you can shoot other bullets or something.
Zayton teaching Morph a lesson in basic game stuff. Don't jump.
This is all advanced. Oh, what the fuck?
I
No,
made
don't tell me
combo.
that count.
I made combo.
What was that confirmed? 3A counter hit? Hello, I thought it was the other spell card, god damn it. I'm just gonna play this like Suika now. Just throwing C bullets. And then having no fucking delay to follow up with. What the hell?
Can you handle this? Oh, apparently you
Yeah.
can.
What do you want, Alpha? I pronounced the name Zayton, not Zaton. Ask Zayton on how to play.
I like the correct pronunciation is Zaton, but I really don't mind. Because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I mispronounced several names correctly, so...
I like saying Zapon.
I like Satan. I like pronouncing the letter.
Oh, has to be emphatic. Has to be like.
Za.
Oh,
Zapon. Za.
come on, you get fucking shit by it. What the fuck was that hitbox?
The big boy soda boxes.
That really. Yeah.
Hey, I did the limiting combo.
If you try to pronounce every, I actually tend to pronounce a lot of stuff in the English way.
Oh, that's
instead
gonna
of
hurt.
using the Italian pronunciation, which is why I go Satan instead of Zaton.
It's fine.
No, it got me thinking. That's
Why can I not reach up?
Man,
yes, this is the entire cast is just Chernomiros made by good old Zaton and Morph. Who is winning, by the way?
nobody wins here.
Oh,
Oh,
class.
comboed into it.
You done made a combo. No.
Oh, you don't fall for it twice?
I wonder if that's is that 6B iron blockable?
That's 6B though.
Yeah, 6B. Is it
And
iron blockable?
you're dead, son.
Yankee, you cannot block it at all.
Wait a minute.
It's unblockable.
Is it me?
And again, yeah, finally understood how
But
this
it's
shit works.
breakable.
Okay, it's good. Okay.
To be fair, I'm fucking cracking up at those grabs. I can concentrate.
The funny thing is that Cirno has the best grab in the game. Like, what the fuck?
Well,
Honestly,
he actually does.
in this game's case, this is hardly an achievement.
Yeah, it's still annoying though.
Why did they change grabs so much in this game? I don't get it. Come on, get it by... Yeah.
I should play Cirno.
What? How did you
Try her.
headbutt for my 5C? No.
I love and hate J8A. Like, it has a really good range and all, but then there's this noticeable like startup.
Air unblockable. I don't pronounce it that way. It's air unblockable. Come on.
Sure, let me left and right. Oh no, not like... Can I grab it, Toon?
If you start noticing all my pronunciation errors,
Wait, that should kill you. Come on. Yes!
Typhoon.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, let me try another deck.
Wow, her victory quote just now was check it out. That's why I'm the strongest. She just fought against herself. Also, do we have enough people now so we can start? Or, I don't know, have shield is enough, Ned?
Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, I knew. But I'm not good, though.
Be glad I don't understand her ranges, so I just whiffed the first attack.
Well, jump B to A is leaky, so they usually just graze into it.
Okay, it's heavy fog. It's perfect for this map and our bullets. God damn it.
And you refuse to block.
Why can you Oki with a goddamn parry?
If blind guy can okay, you just can't fucking block.
I can, I'm the best blocker in this game.
No. Like, I'm pretty certain that the backwards button is disabled for every character you play. Oh,
Yay.
the mind games.
He only goes forward.
Oh,
Right.
close.
2C doesn't kill downwards. What was I expecting? Oh shit! Dude, the mix-ups.
Oh. I don't even know what this card just did.
It's a poverty tokamak.
It's like Tokama, but has a buffer. Also, you don't need to hold the flight to actually get the bullet out. You can just do anything.
No! Watch this.
No. Holy crap. Holy crap.
Ah, amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so for everyone who's watching this, don't even bother Playing the Cirno turn, you can't win against this. I wanted it to be the grab, god damn it.
Also, her 6P is stupidly good. I should abuse it more. What? I don't
Yo.
remember the last time I saw that charged fully.
You can charge. Yeah, you can charge it twice.
Ah, why do you do this to me?
What?
Locked! Shielded from this! Can't touch me with that gay sheet. Oh damn it, but with that one you can. Sniped! Oh no. Why does she not combo into her receive? Oh damn, don't you dare press that spell, but I'm gonna mash. Oh, it's the same stuff again.
I like the noticeable disappointment in your voice.
It's the Cirno Tokamak.
It sounds mighty, doesn't it? No! Why did you use that alt?
I don't get this character's hitboxes sometimes.
They don't exist!
Yeah.
Like, who? Okay, Chirumiru, how the hell did you pick?
I mean,
How the hell did you pick Cirno and said, yeah, this is good and fun to play? I don't understand.
Oh, just need to get user to her.
I mean, she has like little chubby arms. All the way.
Not again, boy. Oh, damn it.
Much
Or
more.
move
Oh, this will
around.
not work at all.
Of course not.
Much
know
more
what will work,
straightforward to play than you actually think. Vanilla as fuck.
I don't even see how. You see my sick. Oh, what again? Why?
Because you're spoiled by characters with good range.
Oh no.
Also, you're probably not used to her speed at all.
Wait, I can't even low kick her. What is this?
This is such a shit fest. What is this card?
No, don't use it.
Or
Don't
I
use-
question your actions. Okay, I think we
said
have time
don't
for one
use
more.
it. Okay, let's make one more and then we start.
Man, those matches are taking quite some time. Like, this character's base damage is kinda low, and neither of us can really combo.
Oh,
What do you mean? I
Cirno's
just-
damage is okay, like enough.
It's okay, it's
Ever.
better than Aya's.
Oh, Chiro, it is okay, absolutely, but you have to keep in mind that both of us are horribly incompetent.
What do you mean? We're the best. I
And
mean,
and
nobody
then
confirms raw spells as much as we do.
and I'm sorry, Mark, but I'm rooting for Zayton because he's using my pilot, so I need to root for him.
It was all part of my plan. It wasn't, it really wasn't. But I just like white palettes, I guess, or the bright ones.
All of her palettes are nice.
Yeah, I like the Mistia one.
It's just big default because I'm too lazy to keep up.
Pressing one time into a direction is too much to ask for after all. Also, why do you have so much V-turn and I don't? Give me some. Ah,
Oh shit, I made a combo.
how dare you?
Combo with her?
How is that not... What?
Movement
Well, how
option.
can you escape pressure with this? Like, how we what? I don't understand this character.
Oh shit, Ice Card isn't very usable, I forgot.
Oh,
On
thank
level 2, on level 2.
Oh, it is? Oh,
You have to up.
well, now this is pod racing.
you. Oh man.
Both versions, or just B?
Oh,
Just race it to this.
And I did.
The man.
Nice combo.
And this is... Oh, that's this guy. Oh man, why are these... I'm not used to confirming spell cards. Where are my reversals?
oh, you could have made Neron Blockbuster from there.
Will this work? Yes.
Ouch.
finally an amount of damage that I'm familiar with. What are those
What?
baby-ass characters not dealing 3k of every hit? What the fuck?
I know, right?
God, I love
Why
this so
still
much.
itching?
I'm picking this as an out.
Hey, Zaton, do Ice Car into Ice Car.
Oh shit, you can do that?
Yes.
Then again, my bro.
But
think
use speed, by the way.
Oh, please.
I love that attack. She builds a big icicle. That's awesome.
Then here again. What? How did you beat that at 5C? What the hell? That shouldn't be possible. Then I guess it's time for another tokamak. Oh, that was the kick. How should I have known that?
They all look the same.
Is that the secret mix-up? Even you don't know what you're gonna play.
Oh, that's not what I wanted. Man, I really need a new keyboard.
Did you mash too hard?
No.
I'm an Oku player, dude. Of course I mashed too hard.
No, that's once. How did that even hit me? Is that a reversal?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think I'm ready for the podcast.
Yeah, I'm also ready.
I know everything I needed.
Alright, Satan, and yeah, time for more serious matters. So, is everyone here? Is everyone ready?
Give me 1 second.
Let's see. Yeah, I think everyone is here. We are missing no one.
Let's go.
You're missing my brain. I just lost it.
Same.
Oh boy. Okay, so another week on our podcast. Today we are
Yeah,
on
we
the
just-
11th. This is the 11th podcast. I guess we should have done this episode on the 9th, but
But on the 9th, he wouldn't have this date.
no, I mean this is September 9, but we had, Hisouten podcast 9. We could have done that, but what happened? I don't even remember what happened there.
We did the Itsuho episode. I mean, if you wanted, we could have done something like episode 8.5, 8.7, and then until we got the 9 and landed on September 9th. Come on.
That's fake. The 8.5 is pretty damn fake. Let's be real. Oh boy.
Okay, let's start properly with a good introduction now.
Okay, so Hisouten podcast 11, great fiery podcast. We in, we there, let's go. Oh no, actually, we have Chirumiru with us today. So, say hi.
And let me ask right away, Chirumiru, so since this is your first podcast, a lot of our guests usually gets a little bit nervous or don't know what to say. How do you feel? How do you think this will go?
I hope it will be fine. Hi, I'm Chirumiru. I'm here to talk about Cirno and the other topics, and nice to meet you all.
It's glad to have you, Chiru. One thing,
That's an introduction.
one thing we were having trouble with was finding actual Cernos who would participate in the podcast. We were very limited on our choices, and Chiru, you are like one of the few Cerno mains that I had to turn to, and I'm
You're
glad to get
the
you on this
only
today.
one who was brave enough to actually play,
I know.
to actually be part of this, so we're really glad for this.
Thanks for saving
Yes.
the podcast.
Great to have you here.
Well, I will do my best. I try to help you.
And we also have Gupman today because he also subs Cerno. I don't know for how long
we
though.
couldn't find anyone else.
Yeah.
Gupman is basically one of those glasses that say break in case of
In
emergency.
case of emergency, break glass. Exactly.
Yeah, break the gap.
I've been playing Cirno for quite a while, but I usually take a lot of breaks since I play a lot of alts. But I have a lot of knowledge about her. But calling me a good Cirno is probably a mistake.
Well, given that that there are like 3 Cerners in existence, you probably are a good Cerner.
I wish.
Wow, that's one way to put it. Oh boy.
But yeah, let's start as usual because today we don't have much time because thanks to Tess we have a Cerno tourney going on right
Thanks,
afterwards.
Tess.
That's some low key call out.
Oh,
man.
this is standard Saturdays. Let's just
So
get
in
used to
that
it.
in that case, should we just skip the recap, at least the tourneys recap? I mean, everyone knew and watched that stuff, or do you want to go over it?
No. News is news.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
come
news is
on.
important. So we had a bunch of tourneys last week. There was Dream Chasers 10, and you were the winner. So what about that? Tell me your perspective.
I mean, a few days ago, I just had really shitty games so on, and then we finally had a tourney, and I was pretty hyped for it because I finally got to play some good matches against people I like who are on my level. Games were close all the time, usually, and yeah, it was pretty fun. And of course, me and Splinter finally had our dream finals, the one we dreamed about for 9 months now. 9 months. And
This is going to be a horrible day.
yeah, it is. And it was just really cool to have him. I just didn't die by pressure as I normally would. I actually played well sometimes. And then I just lucked out with my 5 cards, which was, cheap, but hey, it's fair.
God, Dream Chase is just looking real tough lately. Everybody's just falling. You expect them to move forward, and they just die. Shoutouts to our rising players, though. It's getting pretty hype.
Yeah, as for now, the tourney is going pretty well, and we had Splinter and Morph in the grand final. That was not unexpected, more like really nice to see. I mean, I always root for both of you, so for me it was really nice. But I hope I see even more people, because last time we had 35 participants, and I would like to see either again the same number or even more, but for now just 35 is pretty good. So we also had Soku Saturday 99. We are basically at the Evans Gate at this point.
Please stop the 9s. Stop with the 9s.
We are basically at the freaking end of the Soku Saturday, and yet without no entrance. You are in there. Can you tell us about it? Like, is the next one going to be announced like big time? Is it going to be bigger? Some special tournament? Stuff. Is the 100 Soku Saturday going to be something special?
Well,
Or even the reboot itself? It could be even the start of the reboot of Soku Saturday.
while he answers that, I would like to say that I think the thing with Sokuset, some people don't end up participating because it takes place in IRC, and then some people are just too lazy to go to IRC to actually go play the tourney. Sokuset 99 wasn't that big of a bracket, unfortunately. But I'm
which is
thinking the
funny.
100th. I'm sorry, what?
Which is funny because when the stream was up, we had like 40 views
Oh, yeah.
and like 10 entrants. Like, this was hilarious.
Backseat gaming. My biggest problem with Sokusat is the fact that it starts at, 1 a.m.?
Well, I mean, I don't think Tesla can change the hour because,
Yeah, I know, I perfectly understand.
Sadly.
But it just really cucks me out of joining.
I
Yeah, it's
doubt
the
that's
real
it.
NA hours.
But hey, you can have those Tessio tourneys like the Cirno tournament now at good times.
No, trust us this year, because the tourney being on IRC is actually the problem for the most part. You can ask around. People don't like the fact that the tourney is on IRC. I mean, I had 35 people on a mid-level tourney because probably it's easier to simply access Discord these days. IRC is kind of deadish.
Kind of completely dead.
Also, there's more new players than older players joining tournaments or joining Sokusets.
Yeah, that's true too.
So
that really helped, I think. Yeah, my bad. But I think
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just was going to repeat myself. That Tessio should really move, at least try to move the tourney on Discord and see what happens if it gets any better. That's it.
So other
Especially
than
for the last
Sokuset,
one.
other than Sokuset,
yeah.
if anybody was watching, I don't know if they were, but there was the 4th Double Sun tournament held by Bulleye, or Double Sun Power.
What even happens in there?
They just play a normal tourney, it's nothing special.
Yeah, it was nothing special. It was commentated by, like, Dave, though, whom I will say sounds like a certain somebody. Not gonna point out any names. I don't know, Dave has some okay commentary. It was a lot of shit talking, though.
Oh boy. So it's a normal tourney. I didn't even know. I thought it
What,
was.
did you
like,
think everyone picks Utsuho and then just goes ham on double sunsets? Nah.
kind of. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean-
you would expect it to be like, you know, a Special Olympics, but it isn't. Paralympics, yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Would you join in a Tsuho weekly, Tsuho only tournament?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think
make-
Bull I want to
You
be.
won't be able to handle it.
I will make one next year, just one, precisely one.
Jeez.
Okay, moving on. We also had a frog tourney, apparently,
Yeah, that happened.
which of course was won by Blaze, because
Really?
Basically. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
the serious tourney.
Why am I
I'm
even
surprised.
surprised? Why am I even surprised?
I'm just... I don't even know what I think.
Yeah,
about
no,
this at this point.
It's fine. Whatever. And then we also the
Sunday
I think-
Swiss, if you don't know what it means.
Yeah,
I
Sunday
was just
Swiss.
wondering, yeah.
Who won that again? Blaze?
Nah, Blaze doesn't
okay.
claim those. They don't
Okay.
start at his house, I think.
Huh, I can't
What if-
seem to find the frog tourney bracket. But yeah, I think it was like from first to third. It was Blaze Dragon, Seagets, and then Elgran. And Seagets
Elgran.
almost lost to Elgran, which is pretty amazing.
Did he blame luck?
No. Seagets actually agreed that Elgran was becoming a good Suwako. So I don't think it was lag. In fact,
Do you
I
need
think
the
they
bracket?
played.
I have the link.
I don't play Zuwakos.
Also
But I would say
concerning,
my Sumako hate for the Sumako episode.
also Tessie, or concerning like random tournament announcements, I would just like to remind you that one day Normac had announced a tournament last minute, and it was for, it was like a Rising Stars like meme tournament that he created in like 5 minutes, and it had about 20 participants, and it was on Discord. So I'm thinking Discord might have something to do with it.
Yeah,
Really makes you think.
try at least try. I understand that you are kind of sad that you don't get people in the good also good salary, but try at least once to make it in Discord. Make the last Soku Saturday on Discord and see what
Yes,
happens.
make the final one in Discord. You know, it will be symbolic.
To mark the advance of the Hisouten community tourneys, yeah, fine.
You also could try actually advertising the tourney like 1 week or at least before the same day, so people can adjust themselves and their agenda and stuff. You know, agenda, yeah.
Oh, and then what else we wanted to announce? Yeah, Saska's mod. I don't know anything about that. That's your territory, Zero Fumes.
Ooh, Saska up? Oh, it's the edgy
yeah.
one. Alright, hold up. Let me grab that.
Well, I mean, if people are really that tired about results, then there's nothing we can do actually. Then kick Blaze out of the tourney. Easy. Blaze can't join, so it's nothing. Whoa. And anyway, what? Oh yeah, people aren't playing ranked. What's up with
Yeah,
that?
somehow people stop playing ranked, and yeah, I guess that's pretty sad for the people who set this up. I don't know why. I had a few ranked matches in the. Well, I tried one ranked match, but I think the opponent didn't verify the score, so yeah. Maybe, yeah, Zayden, we should have made it a ranked match when we had our Cirno mirrors. But yeah, daily reminder that you can play subsets ranked. It wouldn't be bad.
Okay, so here's the Saska mod for anybody that hasn't seen it yet.
I'm curious. Oh, the it's not done yet. For my understanding, the mod needs some extra touches like stages, character palettes, music.
Yeah, absolutely. But
But yeah, the base is done.
this is so edgy. Oh my gosh.
Wow,
So
it's not
that-
edgy. It's cool.
That's the point of it. He just wanted to make it an edgy shit fest. And
Yeah,
he did
Oh,
it.
wow. The
Beautiful
character
edgy shit
traits.
fest.
This is all based off Komaji Densetsu, it looks like. I like what he's done with the portraits.
It's really cool. But finding all the characters made in the same style is really. In fact, you can notice that some characters don't have the actual in-game portraits, but have some different art style, kind of.
And that looks actually pretty great. Not gonna lie, I expected
Yeah, it
it to
does
look
look
way
good.
worse.
Yeah, that's really good aesthetics.
It's really well done.
For anyone who hasn't seen it though, you can probably pick this up in the Soku Mods channel on Discord and give it a try, see if you like it. Oh,
Does
and
he
right, it
have
was
the
made by
music from the
Scout.
game?
Yeah, I think. Unless he
yeah,
hasn't
of
done
course
that
it
yet.
will.
I think it should though.
So it's still work in progress, but yeah, there isn't much left so far as I see.
Oh, I like that loading screen. That's actually pretty neat.
Can we even see a normal stage or not?
I think the stages didn't change at all.
No, not yet, but I'm pretty sure that shouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah, no, the stages don't really change. Though the HUD is fully done, so that's nice.
Yeah.
And it's definitely edgy. Look at that blob. Boy.
But yeah, okay, enough of the recaps. We are kind of a bit in a bind.
Wait.
timeline.
We were talking about the ranked.
I mean, why do you think people stop playing rank? I mean, people did it a lot, and now they kind of stopped.
I mean, I guess it kind of connects with people not really being interested in joining real competition. Let's say the higher level competition, because it ends the same way every time. So I guess maybe that's the problem. They don't
But
enter.
it's just the way to get your placings. I mean, you know who you're worse and who you're better against usually.
What was the original ruling for placements? I think it was something like you needed to play 10 games in order to be placed.
Yes.
And then after about a month, people were complaining about how it seemed inaccurate, and some people were just ranked really high, like Seagets was the best at one point. I mean, not saying that's not true. I mean, I think Source is great.
They call out.
But you know, and then Aristocrat decided that he would have a fix for that, and there would be an inactive NDK period where people would become unranked. Now to fix that, you just have to play one game per week. But people stopped doing that. People stopped playing ranked, and I want to know why.
They are lazy. And
Is it
okay,
being lazy?
actually, this connects pretty well with what we're going to talk about today.
Well, let me add on something about ranked. The
Sure.
biggest problem about it is there's not enough players. So
I mean,
in this community, you pretty much know who you lose and who you win against.
Yeah.
It needs variety. There's not enough players. There's not enough incentive. Also, there's another problem with it, which is more of a personal problem. I'm not sure if everyone shares my opinion. I really think it would be really cool if the rank was separated by characters instead of all characters. They can track your actual progress, not only with your main, but your alts as well.
Well, that would be difficult, wouldn't it?
That's
Won't be-
pretty in depth.
won't be better to have both?
I don't know.
I mean-
could you even track that?
I don't know, but I think both would be actually really useful because
We'd have to
General
ask Father
placing.
Spike.
I mean, surely Aristocrat could code something that, like, you type verify character or something, player character, something along those lines. Actually, I do think that, like, leaderboards for separate characters, 20 different leaderboards could be pretty interesting. I have no idea how it could be done, but
And
Another
then in the
reason,
end, nobody will play them either, so yeah, no point in trying to make
well,
that.
yeah, in the end, it
Like-
doesn't even matter.
okay, no, there is. I think there is this ranked isn't working, but the problem isn't how ranked is done and how it works. I think the problem is just the people, how people interact.
Here's the thing, Genki. There's a lot of everyone likes to act like a tough man, but we all have to a certain degree some ladder anxiety. If you play an alt, you don't care if you lose because it's your alt So it's much more relaxed.
will disagree with that. I will disagree with that. Though. I don't know. Some people actually, I think, care for pretty much every character they have. Also, I feel.
I don't care about my Suwako at all.
I mean, because I don't think you have a Suwako. That's the. But I think some people. I think some people. I've actually liked the main and then the alt, and they actually do feel in wanting to have both being good. So it depends on person, bro.
I just want to smurf, man.
I think the old ladder was like more competitive because it was easier to see your improvement. Like you could see easier your placement. For example, if I am the third position, like it's not like, for example, if I lose 20 points, like it's not that competitive, that much competitive. I don't know if you get my point. Like,
No, I understand you're not satisfied with the scoreboard, with the score rating because it can change too easily.
Yeah, that's right. Because when you fight people, or at least around your level, you jump either by 50 or drop by 50.
That's actually just because we didn't have enough games played yet.
Yeah,
I mean,
like-
if everyone had like hundreds of games registered, then losing once won't reduce your score at all.
Yeah, technically the system is sound. It's just, if people played more, then you'd get more accurate results.
Yeah, we need to play more. That's what it boils down to.
Everyone's stuck in casuals. That no one has the confidence to just say, "Oh, hey, who ranked?" That's too
I
bad.
mean, why don't we just make tournament games also rank? Is that possible? I mean, at least in those that are best of 5 anyway.
Or
Best of 3, right?
how would you feel about placing using tournament stats like from Challenge and just implementing that, or putting that to your name on Discord? Then you would record your stats like that. So like any matchups you had in the tournament, you just record the best of 3.
Well,
No,
It
that's
would
actually
be like,
fair.
because tournaments are already a competitive environment, and if you're looking for competitiveness and we have a ranked system, and you don't want to input your ranked stats, just use tournament.
yeah, that makes absolute sense.
One thing I wanted to point out, like the last time someone used tournament results as as an indicator of skill, Sigets ended up being in the Scrubby Fridays 30. So
Perfect.
thank you, Sango.
That
Truly the
happened.
king of scrubs.
And he still wants to join my tournament every single time. I will not free Sigets. Get the fuck out, damn it.
Let him in. Let us destroy his self-confidence.
No, okay? Doesn't work like that.
The irony of a tournament where the best reward is to get banned.
Indeed.
I mean, you pretty much, they stop you from playing the game. I mean, what better price could you possibly want?
Go outside, do something, stop playing the game. That's
Okay, so whoever wins Soku Saturday 100 gets banned from the server. How about this?
Nice.
Goodbye, Blaze. Nice knowing you.
Nice
I
knowing
will
you, Blaze.
participate and win. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna see Genki and Soku Sat 100?
Finally, some motivation. He'll
Finally,
be
some
able to be-
motivation to play.
Yeah, release him from this nightmare.
The nightmare is
The
over.
hypest tourney in history because everyone is trying their best to get banned.
Which goes back to the original point of this problem. People aren't too interested in getting better, or maybe are scared of the competition. But why does that even happen? Why someone would be scared of competition?
Well, in my case, I don't really play ranked, save for that one time I really wanted to play Sigets and didn't really care about the rank. But personally, I'm just not interested in a bunch of numbers indicating how good I am or how good I am not. I just don't see this as a legit indicator of skill, unless we're talking about the absolute top of the list or the absolute bottom of the list. Maybe. Even
What
then,
about-
I would still find it a bit questionable.
Let me extend the question to outside of rank, like, overall, like in competition, even in casual games, but mostly stuff like tournaments. What do you say about those?
But like, why don't people play tournaments? Is this what you're asking, or am I misunderstanding?
Basically, I'm trying to ask in a general sense, because right about now I think people not really trying to tap into their own full power, let's say, because they don't want to compete. They don't want to compete in ranked. They don't want to compete in tournament, and they don't feel like playing stronger people. So
well, while I did. Well, obviously, I'm only talking about myself here. I
Sure.
don't know how much of this applies to other people, but while I did state what I think about ranked, in the case of tourneys, it's mostly the fact that I just can't play at my full power because I get so fucking nervous.
So it's no different from tournament performance then.
Again, please.
It's no different from your tournament performances then, because everybody gets nervous in tournaments too.
Yes, but obviously there are people who get less nervous and so on.
Well, then I have a solution for you. You host for casual games, and then after your set, and if you win, you just say it was a ranked set.
Bamboozled.
Perfect.
The tricks.
Thank you. I will now be number one. I will overcome Blaze.
What about you guys? What do you think about the general situation where people don't really get into a serious mindset and play tourney, ranked, whatever?
Shall I start?
Go ahead.
I mean, sure. Okay, go.
I think I can speak for everyone here because I've been playing this game for a long time. But when I started this game, it was pretty simple. I was just someone introduced me to Toho. I was looking for videos, and suddenly, oh hey, a combo video about Scarlet Web Rhapsody. Let's see what this game is. And you see all those fancy stuff and sprites and all the waifus and shit. Eventually you're like, oh, I want to play this game and become the best ever. And you don't know what you're getting into. You're still into a casual mindset at this point. And when you get in, you're in for a shock when you get into the scene. Either you play for fun or just become serious at it. And the thing about tourneys, most people have this extreme vision. If you join a tourney, you have to win, right? But people forget that.
I mean, I can feel that though.
But people need to realize that tourneys are also a social event. You get to meet people, you get to see what others are like, you get to talk. You don't always have to join or get a good placement. For example, most people like myself, I don't join tourney because of the technical stuff. I just lag with everyone. But
do you?
If that was the problem, I would join tourneys more often.
If you're looking at the social aspect, people would have said that they liked Sunday Swisses more, or Swiss tournament formats more. But we've had many votes or many polls in the past, and it's like double elimination is the go-to tournament format.
I think because people want to really show off, and it's easier without the classic double elimination tournament. You just run through a little journey and meet the final boss, punch him in the face, and you become the greatest.
Yeah, Swiss is better.
It's easier.
Swiss is better for more variety in skill level, while double elimination it's much more serious mode, much more try hard. You just want to punch the guy and get to the top.
I have to say that I do find Swiss to be much less stressful personally. I can't really explain why, but I just feel much less pressure on myself when I participate in a Swiss tourney.
I think because you have to play everyone, so it's not like have to in double elimination you either stay in winner's bracket, lose once, then have to do loser's bracket,
it's much more punishing.
Yeah, basically. Thanks.
Yeah. You basically don't see instant results, so you don't. You're kind of in a neutral state of mind, right?
And here's the thing:
I lost
new players. Sorry for interrupting.
No,
so
fine.
For a new player, they don't know about this. They don't know how punishing it is to, let's say, do a mistake like missing a game-winning combo, and that's that. You're out. They don't know this.
We do know this. We know it perfectly,
Well,
right?
a new player, like most new players, have this eye. What's the right phrase for this? The dreamer, the eye open dreamer state, where they just have illusions of their skill level or what the game actually.
Basically, they haven't played long enough yet to be jaded and bitter about the game.
Yes, they see only the good parts about it.
I can believe that, yeah.
That's wrong. I mean, Zero Chiru, both of you, we know that missing one combo can cause us entire games. This is nothing new.
And if you're someone who has a big pride or a big ego, that can bring the worst out of you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It can edge towards, feeling betrayed, and you're like start being toxic to another, start blaming stuff outside of you.
Why have you betrayed me, lag?
Like Soku sometimes, and not just Soku, fighter games in general, just bring the worst out of someone.
It really depends on how they have, how they wired their own, let's say, mentality, so to speak. I mean, some people take a loss way better than others. It's really hard to simply say, okay, I've lost, it's my fault. I'll just get better next time. It's not easy. And I think that is the main problem.
Well, let me tell you something, like some Soku history. When Soku came out in 2009, there was a division between player bases. There were the new players who were like, yay, there's a new Toho game. They didn't even know if it was a fighter or not. And the previous, already jaded IAMP players, which they came through a strong shock because it wasn't IAMP 2. So there was this division between
aren't we the same
players.
about the new fighters?
I want to try it, actually.
Anyway, so there was this division between two player bases. The new people who were just, they were primaries. They didn't know about fighting games, getting into Soku, and they were like, there for fun. And there was the other side of the player base that had fighter game experience, and some of them took the games way too serious. Like back in the day, there was a common insult to call someone a Soku player.
What a classic!
Definitely
Nothing has
Soku
changed.
player.
Like if you joined the IAM channel and you did something like, let's say, chicken blocking or mashing or stuff, and it's like, you're a Soku player. Of course you do that. So that's kind of what's the word? Elitism.
Yo, we chicken block to test the waters. That's not bad.
But the players back in the day took the game way too serious, and we didn't know what happened. We just wanted to play the game. We just wanted to have fun.
The thing is, though, is this a problem we are seeing even today? So, is that why right now we have lack of player in tournament and everything else? I mean,
I think that's just the nature of fighting games in general. They're just very daunting to start. So there's a feeling of entitlement because you got something good at something hard. It kind of boosts your ego in a way and your pride. And if you're competitive and let's say you have a big ego, it can sometimes edge towards being actual toxic. I'm not saying that try-hard and competitive players are toxic. I'm just saying that if you are already, let's say, a jerk, it kind of fuels it even more. So the bad apples are more vocal, more, let's say, more in top, more powerful. They sometimes even become idols. Not in our community, we haven't. Actually, we did have that in the past. There's some examples in 2009, 2010, but those players are gone. We're in a much better state right now. Like, if you look in in the beginner channel, we get a lot of new players. In fact, the beginner players is probably even more active than the main channel.
I think you're right. I think you're right, but I don't check enough in there to say. It does look more active though.
I
It's more
can't
active
believe
in
that.
terms- It's more active, I would say, in terms of actual games happening. If you compare the beginner hosts to the main channel hosts.
That's because nobody's shit posting in the beginner channel.
I mean,
Wow. It's the Soku channel you dreamed of.
Yeah, I'm just gonna delete the other one.
Do not taint Soku Beginner.
Well, at least we can't, lament the fact that we are lacking players in the beginner channel. We do have those. Yet, I feel something is missing. I wonder what.
It's not a split Fireball. It's just the fact that they're affiliating with one another because they know that they're beginners. Like any one of us could hop into Soku Beginner and just start socializing with any of the other beginner players, and it would probably go well. It's just that a lot of us choose not to because, well, we're older players. And not counting me, of course.
It's not really a split if you think about it. There's a lot of beginner players who actively ask all the players to play. Like yesterday, 2 new players just asked me out of the blue, "Hey, do you want to play me?" I was like, "Oh, all right." They even asked me to sandbag, which I was okay with that. Because they wanted
That sounds pretty
Yeah.
nice.
I mean, they wanted to get something about the natural, and they wanted a breeder room so they can do some stuff, which I was perfectly okay with that. So the new player base has a very good attitude. They want to improve, and the thing is, what's bad competitive and what's good competitive? Like the toxic kind of competitiveness is the type that splits the player base, that hates the community, that wants the game to die. I mean, we had some players in the past like that, which is good that we don't have anymore.
Do we have those nowadays?
No, they're gone.
Time
We
to
had-
become toxic.
If
Like-
anything, they're really subtle or not
They're
even
subtle, but even those who are subtle, they still love the game, so they don't want to split the community or anything. But we have some people in the past that hated the Soku player base.
I imagine the IRC days must have been a lot worse.
Gup, may I interrupt you for a moment?
Sure.
Fireball asks, yeah, but why do we need the separate channels? I have to say, at first, when I think Tessiro came up with the idea of a beginner channel, I was kind of on the ropes about it. But I have to say, like, just having a separate channel, marked beginner, seems to have encouraged a metric shit ton of people to actually play actively. I don't know how this works because I'm no psychologist, but I guess they were just feeling overwhelmed a bit in
It's simple.
the
There's
constant
a lot of,
shitstorm in the main channel.
like there's a lot of anxiety when someone joins in a new
absolutely.
channel, and it's like, what do I even ask? But when you go to into a beginner channel, it seems much more friendlier, much more welcoming.
Yeah, it being also less active helps because there isn't this never-ending wall of text that just goes on and on and on.
Also,
So
some
the
more
beginner
jaded
channel is
players.
slow.
There's some jaded players around. Sometimes when someone asks a question, someone answers ironically. So it's like, how do I win in this game? And someone goes like XDDD, musical.
Of course.
Press escape.
So that's the difference between the beginner. That's the difference between the beginner channel and Hisouten Soku, because in the beginner channel people will give you actual advice, and what you just said would be perfect material for Hisouten Soku.
That's kind of sad. The fact that it's true, it's really sad.
I mean,
God
it
damn it.
works. It kind of, it all holds together in a way.
Oh jeez.
Barely, but
There's a
barely,
reason
but
people
it
tell you
works.
that. It's not wrong.
Oh.
What I also would say, the beginner's channel is a great idea because when I started, it wasn't created yet, and I would have wished for something like that because I didn't like playing against people who were way above my level, which was at that point everybody, and I would have appreciated some more calmer or closer match, something where I could be actually competitive, something where I could give it my all and it could actually matter.
Same.
By
but,
the
like,
way-
do you feel like there's a bit of animosity when it comes to pro players facing scrubs?
Not at all. Why would there be?
I don't know, because when a new player starts to play, they immediately get discouraged by the fact that they are losing. So what
Welcome to the
happens
world,
is that
kid.
they get hostile.
I don't think, like, I haven't seen that happen much. I mean, there have been several instances of Blaze just taking a day one dude and fucking beating his ass for 2 hours, but
I'm one of those.
yes, and he just, but on the way he kept giving him advice. He kept telling him what he should be doing, what he shouldn't be doing. You could say that we as a community are, for the most part, kind of blessed with top players that aren't complete cunts, which may or may not be happening in other communities.
By the way, Zaton, when in the past when I played, when I started Soku, there were a lot of players who were like, "Hey, want to play IAMP with us?" And
I have posters.
the thing is, the IAMP community is pretty chill. Of course, there were some bad apples, but they mostly vanished. When I started, it was very intimidating. Like, the skill gap was immense. Of course, some people called me a Soku player, so there's that, but let's ignore that. But the fact that there wasn't a welcoming scene like how we have here on Discord, there's no beginner friendly area, and you just go into the game, get yourself beaten up to the pulp. It's like, where do I go? I just lose everything. So there was also a thing. I liked Soku more than I am, so it was really hard to stick around. Also, there's a lot of players who also play other fighting games. So sometimes they're like, do I want to stick to Soku or do I want to stick to this other fighting game? If you have a welcoming channel like beginner and such, they're much more tempted to stick to Soku than the other game.
That makes me want to ask you, Zero Fuse, and let's just start with you, Chirumiru. When you joined first the Soku community, like, how did it feel? Like, were you intimidated, or was it too serious for you, too easygoing? Like, what did you feel like?
Yeah, well, Soku is... I'll let you go first, Chiro.
I started playing last year, like in July, I think. The Discord was still in the beginning, so my first games were at IRC. So it was intimidating indeed, because like RC appearance is not so comfortable, and like every time I was hosting, like there were some older players that couldn't host, like, and they just joined my host, and I was like, wow. Well, it's complicated, like, it's not easy, and that's why today I see we have the Discord with as a Soku beginner channel. Like, I think this may be one reason because, like, Hisouten is growing so much because we treat well beginners.
Well, yeah, overall, so you basically say it wasn't that great for beginners, but there were always people who helped. Like, would you have appreciated if there was a beginner channel like we have now, or do you think that wouldn't have been necessary?
Of course. Like, we didn't have this like at RC times. It would be really good. Like, it's complicated really.
So
now it's much easier.
Yeah, it's a lot easier for new players. As for me, though, I joined back in February, and I had one thing in mind when I came into playing Soku, and I'm sure you can guess what that is.
You want to play Patch?
I wanted to play the best patchy I possibly could. And it didn't really matter if I was going to get stomped by the best players or whatnot, because Soku was not my first fighting game. And, like, I knew there was going to be, like, this huge steep, this hill I was going to be falling down and then going back up in terms of, like, fighting games and skill level. If there was a Soku beginner channel at the time, I don't think I would have cared for it too much. And maybe I would have known or met a couple new players there, like 2 or 3. But I probably would have just been chilling in the main Soku channel. That's just how I think. If I don't play the best, then I probably won't get better. Now I'm gonna sound like Sanger. Alright.
Dropping bombs, I see.
But this is basically always a bi-monthly roast session. Never forget about that.
Yeah. I didn't really feel any, like, anger or hostility towards any player, though. Like, I didn't get angry at anybody. Like, I knew I wasn't very good. I was gonna get good, and I had to do it somehow.
Alright, to get back onto what we were actually talking about, so apparently some people are pretty evil towards people, or toxic toward people. I don't know how to pronounce it otherwise. But what do you think is the reason for that? Like, when can you take a game so serious that you start attacking other people or being an asshole towards them? Like, where do you think, where does it emerge?
Some kind of communication, I'd guess. If I were to compare it to other games, there's always some sort of, like, in-game communication that just triggers you, right? I think Soku might have that. For instance, like 2. Other games have taunts, and some people took the taunts as BN. And, you know, then there's, like, emotes and message spamming on things like League of Legends and Dota. But, yeah, we have a few things here.
Well, I think the problem with Soku, which is something that happens in other fighting games as well, we tend to have player idols a lot. So what's a player idol? Someone who is so good, for example, like Blaze, that we start making tier lists out of him, we start making memes out of him, we just talk about him all the time.
I sure hope you have a Blaze poster on your wall.
Oh yeah,
I need
don't
one.
tell them about that. Anyway, so if you have a player idol, if the player is like has a good personality and he's like chill and coaches people and he's helpful, or he's just does his thing without bothering anyone, then you got a good player idol. But there's sometimes instances when let's say a person with bad attitude becomes really good at the game. Then you have a toxic player idol, and that can divide a player base and can make people quit sometimes.
Fortunately, we don't see that right now, as Blaze is pretty chill, and so are the other top players.
But in the past, we had some people. I can give names because they're gone. We had Satsu, we had Kura, we had let's see, who else we had? We didn't have
Momo.
a lot. Momo wasn't good.
He was just a cunt.
Sorry.
Wait.
He was a player idol worshipper. Like, if you weren't Auric or Magister, you were a shit player. That was her opinion on everyone else.
Yeah,
Like, if you
truly a
weren't
wonderful person.
So yeah, there's two sides of the coin. There's the player icon and the ones who worship that kind of player. Right now we're in a good spot because most of the top players are all chill. I don't see anyone who's like, you know, a villain, if I can use that word.
Can I become it?
Oh sure.
Oh, thanks. Someone has to be the center of all hate. Wait, no, we should pick a Subaku main for that. My bad.
Like, there's the opposite spectrum. Like, there's communities who take the game way too seriously, and there's games who take the game way too much laser, too much. Did I just say laser? I wanted to say laser, like relaxed, like taking too much fun. Usually, those more relaxed communities, they need someone to hate, so they can get motivated. So it's kind of like you need a balance.
Are Subaku players the balance?
Our community is pretty balanced because we have some players who, you know, have a more like to criticize a little bit more than like if you like they shit talk a lot. We have some players like that, but they're mostly not too serious. They're silly. Like, I can say someone like Advice Hall, like can stir people up. Like, he can stir people up, but you cannot hate that guy. He cannot hate that guy.
Yeah, but basically, there's people who are actual cons, and there's people who just like to banter. You know, the fighting game type
Like
of
the
banter.
thing is, Advice Soul actually helps people when someone
Oh, yeah,
asks,
absolutely.
That
And,
is true.
and he actually coaches some. Like, oh, by the way, we had the technical problem earlier, where we didn't, where our mic didn't work, and the podcast was doomed. And guess who saved us? Advice Soul.
Oh yeah.
Yes, some heroes don't wear capes.
Base Owl.
They
So we in a community needs all kinds of personalities, but you don't want someone too vocal or too, too on top, to say the least. We need someone
No.
chill on top, so it's balanced. Like Alpha is very chill, Blaze is very chill,
Well, all the mods
Ran
are.
33 is very chill, Ran is chill, so we're in a good spot.
Yes.
So if we look now, looking at the flow, I think we might be done unless you want to get into the questions. But I would at least point out the last one. Like, would you say games can be compared to sports in terms of investment?
In terms of what? Sorry.
In terms of investment, like time, sweat, whatever
Well, it is
you
like a hobby. If you want, it kind of is like a hobby.
It really depends, I think. I mean, can't everything be an hobby unless you take it seriously? Seriously?
It's not that the medium itself can't be a sport, but I think it depends how you as a person approach it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I think it can be pretty serious at a mental level, at least. I mean, fighting games surely don't take any of your physical energy. It's no soccer.
You say that, but then you always say that you're tired after a few big matches.
Oh,
I'm mentally tired. Once can get mentally.
That's also part of sports. In some sports, also people get mentally tired. I'm pretty sure in team sports, for
But they
example.
get mostly physically tired. Pretty sure.
play Soku during the summer. You'll sweat like a pig.
Oh, I can play whatever. Any fighting. Actually, no, I get all chilly.
But
I
you-
get
but you
I
don't
get
even
cold.
play video games.
Okay, I don't. But when I play fighting games competitively, when I remember that those are things that I should be playing, I actually don't. I don't sweat. I actually get really cold. Like my blood gets really, really cold for some reason.
What do you
So-
do during the winter?
Playing fighting games. I also get hot. That depends. If I'm winning, I get hot. If I'm losing, I get cold. It depends.
So you can actually kill Genki if we make him lose often enough. Yeah.
Probably. There's a good chance. I didn't check. Like me, I don't lose that much. Probably. But yeah, actually, I wanted to expand on a thing that you said before about the idols. So you said that if some, let's say, bad player in the bad player gets to the top and act all badly, it's a bad idol. So are you saying we should have more good player become good idols so they have the community, something like that?
When I say a bad player, I don't care about his personality. He can be the worst. He can be the most insufferable person ever. It depends how he handles the community using that power. Does he bring the community together or does he divide it? That's the important part.
I have an image related to this, but continue.
There's one thing I would like to fall back on. There has been the question, what makes people toxic? In many cases, at least I feel that it is. Let's say you lose to someone, but some people can't really accept the fact that it's their fault. So they get angry and come up with shit like, I lost because of weather, I lost because of lag, I lost because my character is shit, I lost because the other guy's character is too strong.
Blame the South Americans. always
I lost because that guy uses meme cards and I don't know, it fucking distracts me. I lost because I don't know. Well, that kind of thing. It's like, it really pains me to see that. Because, well, obviously, if you lost, then it's absolutely your own fault. Well, maybe save for an occasion sometimes. Because it does happen. But I feel that people just can't really accept that their potential victory lies in their hands, and it's not really dependent on those things.
And how do you make someone like that actually realize that it's his fault? I mean, you just have to kind of teach it to him. Or do you just accept him as a person and say, well, he's just like that, and if he's mad at times, just leave him be?
I mean, even if you tell that to them, then they will not listen to you, or they might even consider it as an insult. Because I am perfect. How could the loss be my fault? My movement is perfect. Okay, let's not go there. I am not going there. So yeah, either you somehow manage to persuade them, or wait for them to grow up. Because honestly, that's just immature. That's immature as fuck in my eyes.
That's a tough one.
Wait, aren't you complaining about Yukos as well?
I used to. I admit, I used to. But like, it's not that I blame the entirety of my losses on because this guy plays the Yuyuko, let's say, but because she has bullshit that I did not understand how to deal with at the time. I learned.
To be fair, you can't get bloomed as Utsuho.
Again, sorry?
You can't get spare bloomed by Utsuho, so that's why maybe you can think of it that way. But let's say someone picks Raisin, for example, and then gets obliterated by that spare bloom. I mean, what is he going to think? Like, how do you want to convince him that it's not bullshit?
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, I play Utsuho. It's not like I don't know my shit about bad matchups.
I mean, everyone has some kind of bad matchup anyway, so.
Unless you're Yuyuko. I'm sorry, I have to.
I think we went
overtime.
in topic. No, I think we are actually strictly on time. It was a really interesting topic, I think. Yeah.
Then I guess we can finally move on to our the actual reason we are all here.
Yeah, I mean,
we can finally talk about Cirno, or as I tastefully called her in the flow, some weird ice cube.
That's you. You write the stuff. That's you.
Yes, I first and foremost, before we get into the main topic, I would like to really, really apologize for making this episode on the 9th day of September. But you have to understand, it was stronger than us. We're all degenerate memers.
I mean, if we were way better, we would have done the 9th podcast on the 9th of September. But, nothing is perfect in this world.
We need to up our meme game.
But yeah, now to move on. So, first of all, Chirumiru, finally it's your turn to talk. So, why do you like Cirno? Like, do you know about her personality, or do you just like her because she's great and so cool? How did you get to play her?
Actually, I really like her personality. Like, I admire her for being so confident. Like, sometimes we make things harder than they really are. Like, sometimes we don't need to think too much about it, just go for it. Like, I like this. She's so confident, and I like her personality.
How do you feel about her being portrayed as an idiot, kind of? I mean, of course, she isn't the brightest out of all toes, but how do you personally feel about this?
Well, I think it just like it helps her be more famous. Like,
well, I guess that works.
It's kind of part of her appealing. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm not the kind of guy that blame everyone for like for it because of it.
Yeah, but I think you have to admit that much like other characters, like the fandom really likes to blow the stupidity part of her the fuck out of proportion, doesn't it?
I mean, that happens for every single character.
Yeah, but
Sadly.
I think it's especially bad in Cirno's case.
Probably.
I mean, the proof of that is if you were to ask who is an idiot in Toho, you would also always get the answer Cirno.
Yeah, probably. Oh boy.
But speaking a little bit more about her, Chirumiru, have you played? I'm pretty sure you have played the normal Toho games as well. And just on the side now, did you realize something about Cirno that you like? Something more Toho game related?
Something more Toho game related, like, for example?
Like, how's her... like, when you fight Cirno in one of the Tohos, like, if she is a boss or even if you play her herself in one of the titles, do you feel she's being portrayed dumb, or is she actually a big opponent you have to try to beat? Like, does she feel strong in the normal Toho games?
Like, I don't see it like as a bad thing. Like, I know everyone calls Cirno like isn't stupid, but like I said, it helps her to like be more famous, and like it's when you want a character like to be famous, you people usually like not reinforce, but make one of his characteristics more visible. Like it's okay, it's normal. Like if you want to, because of it, people know Cirno. Like
I guess it also helps because then she get being more known as a character gives her more screen time. Let's say.
Yeah. I mean, she did make her way into the newest shmup game.
Oh yeah, how that even happened?
Oh yeah, Chiru, this is important. Do you prefer tamped Cirno or untamped Cirno?
what?
Tanned Cirno or untanned Cirno?
Well, like I didn't play the new Toho game too much, but I really like it. But I'm not used to it. Like for now, like at the moment, I prefer the old Cirno. Like I didn't play the new game enough.
Understandable. Yeah. Good old vanilla Cirno.
Got the Tanned Cirno on
Right.
stream right now.
Soku
Maybe I should just switch to
Tourneys.
normal.
Soku Tourneys.
Soku Tourneys is kind of chubby.
What do you mean? She's like the smallest character.
Okay, no. Okay, look,
No.
look. The new Cirno, she's really light. If you play the Soku one, she's all small and not fat, more like chubby. It's just like thick, you know.
No, Genki. No, let's not do this.
I really.
Some lines should not be crossed.
Okay, my only way to explain this is that in Soku she's chubby. In the new one, she is all lanky. She has whatever. Go on.
Yeah, as Fireball Stoffer said, that's probably just the art style, and yeah. Okay, but moving on now. Now I can ask: do you think her personality? You've said she is overconfident, thinks of her as strong. Like, do you think that reflects in her playstyle somehow? Like, when you pick Cirno, do you have some hidden confidence you gain from her?
Yes, like yes, kinda like I try to rush in like that, being confident, like just want to get closer.
So you pick Cirno and then you're like, yes, I'm going to beat the enemy,
Yes,
I'm the best. That's all, I like it. That's perfect. How about you, Gup? Do you when you pick Cirno, like why do you pick Cirno, for example, Gup?
Why do I pick Cirno?
Like, what's her appeal for you?
She's just really fun. That's how I'm gonna say it. She's
That's like broad.
here's the
Like, be
thing,
more
here's the
specific.
thing. Here's the thing. Most of the characters in this game are very Danmaku oriented. But Cirno is probably the least Danmaku oriented. She's probably the most vanilla character in terms of traditional fighting game. That's how I feel about her.
What about Hong though? Hong is also very.
She also fits into this category, but Hong can play Danmaku a little bit better because she has a very dense bullet that she can throw and just deny everything. Cirno, on the other hand, she needs a lot more space in positioning to actually use Danmaku to her advantage. Also, since you talked about lore, another reason that I like Cirno is, well, I don't play shooters a lot, but I'll have to admit that my favorite shooter is actually, what was it called? Fairy Wars.
That one had a very different system in it. You could actually freeze the bullets, and that's how you gain points, as opposed to always needing to graze shots, because Fairy Wars was hard. That was like super hard.
Not only that, but the art style is gorgeous. I really like that.
Isn't it same Zonar style, or
No.
did they change it there?
No,
Someone
I
it's
else
don't
did
remember
here.
it.
also the way it depicts Cirno, it's fantastic. It doesn't really highlight her like the usual, that she's a bold character and somewhat stupid in a way, but it has this adventure feel to it. Like, not sure how to explain it. It has like I wanna rule the world, but in a fool's eyes way. And then later she meets Marisa. I think it was extra stage, and Marisa just, oh, okay, let's play along, but she doesn't even use her full power. I thought that was really, really cool.
No, the story is really good. It's funny. I really like it. And
Yeah, that's a good point. It was actually funny.
And
Wow.
I also like the fact that perfect freeze is, you can use perfect freeze as a bomb. So like you freeze the entire screen. Like, it's really cool. I really like that game.
That's like a gimmick that has been used really well. Probably I should not say a gimmick, because that's kind of like an insult in a way. It's just a good mechanic.
Something they should have included in Soku as well, to just freeze the opponent's bullets, huh?
Oh man, that would be amazing.
Yo, that would
Wasted
be
opportunity,
really
but okay, the game came out before Great Fairy Wars. But yeah, now if we move on to Cirno and Soku, let's talk about how she fares in the community. We all know Cirno is a rather... You rarely see any Cirno mains around. I mean, as you can see in the podcast, we couldn't find 2 Cirno mains, which is pretty disappointing. I mean, thanks again for Chirumiru. You don't know how much we appreciate that we actually have 1 Cirno main here. It
Yeah,
was
we
way
did-
too difficult to get one here.
Yeah, we didn't need to go for the emergency blaze.
Okay, but now, why do you think Cirno is seen so rarely in the community? I mean, I know people actually find her cute and actually like her, well, outside of Soku at least, but why do you think so few people actually pick her in this game?
Because she's hard to play.
We just proved that that's not the case, Zayton, don't you remember?
Yes, she's not that hard to play. The thing is that she's an honest character, like, so you'll have to face a lot of bullshit, like she's, and how can I say, and like her fame kind of scary people a bit, like why should I try to play her? Like, she's just weak. Like, let me play like a stronger character like you, like let's go for this rigged.
I mean, you just said why pick her because she's weak, but isn't Cirno pretty good damage-wise? At least I heard from you and Gup that she can deal good damage, but...
No, her damage is okay, like, she doesn't have, like... she has some okay damage compared to other characters like Aya and Sakuya, like she has more damage, like, and I can't answer, like, I can't answer you, like, I don't know why people don't like to play Cirno, but I think that maybe like as I said, like people just think she's weak, like, and
I think the reason why people think she's weak is because she's too precise. Like you cannot fuck up with her. For example, if you pick any other character, they kind of spoil you in a way because they do not require any precision. For example, you can just pick, let's say, an easy character like I'm not gonna say
Go Yomu.
Yomu. Okay, let's go
Yomu
Yomu.
super easy. You can go wrong.
Well, Yomu does require precision, but you can play her in a very, let's say, a bare way, like mindless, without thinking ahead, and get the result.
Flowcharting.
Like
Flowcharting, absolutely flowcharting.
You can still get results with Yomu if you play her in a unprecise way without knowing anything beforehand. Meanwhile, Cirno, you cannot do that. If you play her right, she's very rewarding, but if you miss or if you whiff, which happens a lot because of her short range and lack of angles where she can use her bullets, she can feel weak for the new player.
That makes me want to ask, in the past, were there more Cirno players active or not?
There was Idler.
Oh,
Tell us about the Cirnos.
Wait, we had two like in 2009 when I started Soku, my first opponent in IRC was actually a Cirno, and he demolished me. So that's why since then I had a very good opinion on the character, despite everyone saying that she sucks. I really wanted to alt her. That's why I alted her very early, despite I didn't know anything about her, which I still don't do. Point that. Anyway, when someone demolished me, he changed my view on how she played and saw her. Like, I'm gonna say this: her playstyle doesn't really match her personality at all. She's like precise as hell, methodical. You have to play. I don't want to say you have to play her perfectly, but you have to know some subtle stuff, which Cirno's personality is not about that.
Yes, the thing when you is that for playing Cirno, you have to know how to keep pressure, like keep momentum. Like you have to know how to OK because you really want a knockdown and then start your pressure. Like it's her best thing. And like there are some aspects of her pressure that are kind of, you have to be precise. Like for example, instant air jump 6A and like for example land cancel jump 2A and or jump 6A. Like she's not an easy character to play. Like
you need
she's basic, but if you want to be good with her, like you have to learn some hard stuff. Like I don't know if you understand it.
Like you need to know the mechanics of the game already to play her, and to have some fundamentals and some fighting game, let's say, terminology beforehand. Otherwise, you will never know what you're doing. You're just pressing buttons. Like, why is nothing working?
And that sounds like a normal Cirno.
So let's say you ended up meeting a new Cirno player, somebody like just brand new. They just joined the server and they said they want to play Cirno. What would be the first couple things you would want to teach them, though? Like, how do you learn
Play
Cirno?
Yuyuko XD.
Okay, so like I would say that Cirno combos aren't hard. Like this person should firstly learn Cirno combos, and then learn like the basic fundamentals of her pressure and trying to okay with her floating mechanic, sorry. And yeah, at the beginning I think I would say just this, like first get good at this, then we can start doing more advanced stuff like this.
We already have people here commenting. Yeah, you know what's funny? All the Cernos, all the Cerno mains that exist are just in this podcast. They actually watch it. Look, we have Dizinil, Smollendew, and Sasko all watching this, which is pretty impressive.
Let me tell you something about people who are starting about Cirno. She will teach you how to play the game the hard way. And that's actually, for me, I actually think Cirno is one of the characters that, well, she's not easy, of course, but she won't spoil you like other characters. You will learn all the things that you need to know about the game fast and the hard way. So if someone, it's kind of like playing mailing in a way when you start. Like, look at all the mailing players that started. They actually improved pretty fast. I can give you a lot of examples. Like All, Saber, Vita, I'm not sure anyone remembers them, Trey. They all started as mailings. They didn't have any experience beforehand with any fighting. And they got somewhere. This is the same with Cirno. Because this game spoils you a lot with the natural. And having a character with a weak natural kinda makes you think outside the box in a way.
That makes me ask, like, how do you play Cerno neutral? I mean, when me and Satan had our set, I had absolutely no fucking idea what I'm supposed to do.
There's a lot of 5C spin.
Like, here's the thing about Cirno's natural. If you can just not play her natural, and here's what's gonna happen. If your opponent is just gonna spam a shit ton of bullets, they're gonna waste themselves on spirit, and you'll always be full because you just move around and graze all the shit.
As the first time you play Cirno, like her neutral can seem like weird, but in fact, I don't think her neutral is like that bad, because like her 6C and 2C, like they don't, and default to 2, they don't like really interact with other bullets. Her 2C has HP, and like jump to B angles like is a bit weird, so it's probably won't interact with the opponent's bullets directly, like, and she doesn't have only how can I say sniping bullets. Like, she has bullets with that doesn't interact. What?
Isn't
that doesn't interact, and like, you just have to get used to her neutral, and like her 5C is really good too.
My opinion on Cirno's neutral is that she's actually, in a defensive point of view, Cirno's neutral is actually pretty good. People won't be able to approach you very well due to how fast you are, due to your flight speed, your walk speed, and every time they overextend, they might get poked by 5C or jump 5C. So defensive-wise, her natural is I would say it does pretty well. So for a new player, you can actually tell him to play Cirno's natural in a patient and rather laid back way and wait for the opponent to do something.
So kind of like Patchy. See, when it comes to new Patchy players, I tell them, try to use 5C and J5C until it fails, and then see what you can do instead.
You can do the same thing with something like Sanae or Mei-Ling or Komachi.
It's memeing, but it's kind of true.
They can play natural in a defensive way, and if they have enough patience, it leads to somewhere.
Yeah, Cirno has good defense because her besides her jump 5C, her ground tech is really good, and she has some fast poke, but she can be risky if you don't know what you're doing, and like her back walk speed like is really good too. So her defense is like, I would say it's good. Like
it definitely is better than people give her credit for. She has one of the fastest movement speed. Just ground tech in the middle and make them whiff. Use a coin if you like. Of course you need a coin, but one of my complaints when I play Reimu, because she's a character with slow sustained dash, is that I sometimes whiff against fast characters. These characters are Alice, Mei-Ling, Remelia, and Cirno, which new players don't know about this. That walk speed is very important for your defense.
And her backdash is really good too. Her backdash is long, like you can get out of and stay safe easily.
So you would say she has the edge over slower characters, or at least characters who can chase that well?
Yes.
I have a different opinion about this, because if you build her well and you play her well, when I say build, I say use the right decks. She's actually pretty good against rush down characters. She can just nullify their approach, their D6 what should I call it? D6 approach. Like, I'm one of the people who think that Cirno, if you use Ice Car and Ice Swords, you can actually have favorable matchup against some characters like Yomu, which not everyone agrees with me, but that's my opinion.
So you can just cancel out any rush down just by using skills like that.
Skills like that, or just using 5C and her speed in general.
So so she does have good defense. You just need to
need
to know the matchup a little bit.
Cirno has very good defense in my opinion.
Cirno defense is really high, actually.
Now that makes me want to ask, now that we're going to have a Soku tourney in a few minutes, so can you give us some advice for this matchup? Because, okay, we know both sides will be fast and both sides will be rather defensive. Like, what do you suggest? How would you break through that? Or how would you approach the situation? Because people who watch this podcast are probably also going to participate in the tourney, so I would like to get some information about Cirno Mirrors, if you even have experience in that regard.
Well, the thing about Cirno mirrors is that people complain about Cirno because they are not used to against Cirno's jump 5C, and if you can deal with 5C, if you learn how to deal with it, you'll see that it's not that hard, man. Like jump 5C is not dense. It's not that dense. Like, and jump 5C also it's not that fast. Like it doesn't have that much range. Like, but people like just tend to approach like and try to hit and just they just got hit by jump 5C. But
For me-
huh?
Oh, go ahead.
Yes?
Go ahead.
No, but it's not that hard, man. Like one thing that I don't like when I play against Raisin is that actually Raisin's jump 5B, Raisin's 5B can sometimes like how can I say sometimes it's more dense and just pass through Cirno jump 5B, jump 5C, sorry. And it's not that Cirno jump 5C is not that fast. Like, no, it's okay, but like there are much more bullshit in this game that is like much scarier. Like, it's not that bad, man. Like, I don't know why people complain about Cirno that much.
So let me make sure. The question was about mirrors, right?
Yes, and I was going to say that if you don't know how to play Cirno's 5C, like probably Cirno Mirrors is going to be like a 5C into 5C. Like who knows? The person who knows how to do better with 5C will probably win.
I guess I'll just pull up the Cerno flowchart really quick. That way we can all learn from it.
Well, I'm gonna add what Sijet said, like, I think it was yesterday. I'm gonna quote him about mirrors in general, and I agree with him on this point. The person who wins the Cirno mirror is usually the one who has the better defense and more patience. And this is also true for Cirno mirrors. Most of the time when you spectate a Cirno mirror, you're just gonna see two angry hornets buzzing around trying to dodge each other. It's mostly about patience. It's not really flashy in any way. It's all about patience.
Then it should be a rather calm tournament then.
It's gonna be a rather chill tournament.
So
Really?
outside
him.
of a Cerno mirror though, like how do you exactly approach Cerno? How do you fight Cerno?
Well, like I said, it's not that hard to deal with Cirno's neutral if you have patience. Like what?
Go ahead, finish your idea.
No, I don't think it's hard to deal with Cirno neutral. You just have to get used to it, and you'll see that's not hard because her bullets, some bullets, you just have to pay attention to Cirno's default 236 because it can how can I say, it can it's a freak knockdown, like even from the other side of the screen, and like her bullets are either doesn't interact or either doesn't have density. So I don't think it's that hard. It's the thing is just people are not used to play Cirno and play against Cirno.
So she loses the things like bullet density and sniping her out? Because like I know 5C is kind of a big thing for her.
Well, here's the thing. When I play Cirno, there's a few things I hate the most. And yes, it's how you said, it's mostly about natural. When I play Cirno, if there's a character who has unclearable bullets, which it's pretty much the whole cast at this point. If the other player who has better natural has more patience than the Cirno, in the long run, the opponent will win against her. Another problem that I have when I play Cirno is that some characters have a lot of priority on their normals, and Cirno doesn't have a lot of reach with her normals, which means that if you swing your arms around and the other player swings their arms, your character is gonna lose. Cirno will lose every time. For example,
Damn it.
So if you fight against someone like Marisa, you're gonna hate yourself, or against something like Remilia. Their normals will always beat you. Not only that, since we talked about natural, we're now gonna talk about her lack of reach. You can beat Cirno pretty easily if you ground tech mid and just use coin against her. Cirno hates coin.
Yeah, because of her damn reach, a coin will be way more useful against her than on other characters.
Like there's a problem with Cirno that she needs to corner carry, because that's where her strong point is. It's in the corner. If you cannot corner carry with Cirno, you're gonna have a lot of problem. And if you know that, just using coin will make your matchup against Cirno really good.
Now, when I look at the flow, so the next point would be whether Cirno does profit the most from. So first of all, her weather is Diamond Dust and Soku, right? I'm pretty sure that was it.
That's correct.
And do you think Diamond Dust is her strongest weather, or are there other weathers that she makes much more use, takes more use from than other characters, for example?
I would say Diamond Dust is definitely the best, like because you don't need like to read and see where your opponent is going to, if he is going to tech or is not going to go out tech. And I think he's good in Tempest too, because he can get closer more easily. And I would say she's kind of good in Spring Haze, because it's hard to graze her jump 2A and her 6-6B, because they can potentially drain all the opponent's spirit charges if they try to raise it. Like they have a lot of.
She has more tools for that.
What?
Yeah, she has more tools for that. Okay, so we know we have to force Diamond Dust, and having Spring Haze is not a bad idea either. Any other weathers she has?
Tempest, like I said, like.
Tempest,
it's easier for her to get closer.
Actually, I'm kind of feeling bad about it, asking it now, because everyone now hears, and that should have been my secret knowledge for the tourney.
You gotta force Tempest. It's
no,
the key to winning.
Morphman,
you gotta force Diamond Dust. It's the best. Like
here's what you can do.
If you have the momentum, if you have the pressure, then it's Diamond Dust is in the clock, like zone clock. And now it's scary. It's scary. It's scary for the opponent.
Okay, Morphman, here's what you can do in the tourney. Go to your deck profile, put 4 Ice Crushers, wait for River Mist timer, and force Typhoon with the hammer. You'll win every time.
Well, that sounds like a pretty standard combination for me. Fine, I love my main deck right now.
I love Typhoon on Cirno when I have Ice Crusher. It's like someone is always gonna react something about that. Even better if you do Aurora Typhoon. But yeah, I agree with Diamond Dust. it's her best weather. I would also say Sprinkle, because
Are skills that powerful leveled up? When I had my Mirrors with 8, they didn't feel different at all, to be honest.
Default 6-3 with Sprinkle is amazing. Ask Smallendu about that skill. He's a master at it. Other weathers, most of the weathers are good for Cirno, I would say. I'm not sure if there's something bad for her.
Well, you said her reach is shitty, and I guess River Mist is more on her
River
hated
Mist.
side.
Yeah, River Mist is... yeah, I don't want that.
But then again, it's going to be Mirrors in that tournament, so who? So all these tips you're giving me is actually pretty bad because they work both ways.
Just use Ice Crusher and force that Typhoon.
But outside of Mirrors, let's talk about the matchups. So, Cirno matchups, I can't believe what she's good and bad against, so just give me a quick rundown. Who do you like fighting and who do you hate fighting when you pick Cirno? And why, of course.
I don't have that much experience to tell you about all matchups, but in my opinion, Cirno has problems against characters that are good at playing keep away, that have strong neutral and with good defense. Like if you're like a Sanai or Alice or Patchouli, like if you are good at playing keep away, if you have strong neutral, just play with a defensive deck. Like just have a good defense deck. Like it will be really hard for Cirno, like to get closer, like. And it's harder to play against characters with good defense because like you can't continue your pressure, like your momentum, like you want to do. For example, I know that Gup has problems with Remedy, I think.
That's correct.
If it's small and says Remedy is pretty annoying.
Because Remedy is fast, like she has good defense, and it is not as Cirno. You want to keep and maintain your pressure, your momentum, and against characters with good defense, it can be hard. Like, for example, Oku, for example, with 4A, like you can do a lot of box strings. Like I can do a lot of box strings that I usually do. Like
I have to say, as an Utsuho player, I have a lot of problems dealing with Cirno, though I guess it mainly stems from the fact that nobody plays her. So I was wondering, like, can you tell something about how to handle the matchup?
No, in theory, like Cirno has like speed to graze Utsuho's bullets.
Yeah,
And punish her, but actually, 4A is really strong against Cirno. Like, if you know where the places you need to mash, it's hard. Like, it's really hard.
Did you just say that Utsuho 4A is good against Cirno? I'm pretty sure that goes for everyone.
Utsuho's 4A is good against Cirno, and it's hard to OP Utsuho. And her bullets, like, are really dense, and it's not like it's not easy to get closer to Utsuho. It's dangerous. Like if Utsuho knows where to mash, and it's a hard matchup.
So basically, I have to mash harder.
Well,
That sounds like two bird brains actually attacking each other, yeah?
That
Hey,
one.
that's perfect. That's absolutely
Hold on,
perfect.
here's what you can do. On top of what Chiru said, you can also ground tech mid. Because here's the thing, Cirno will want to corner carry you, and she
Yeah,
doesn't have a lot of options to push you away. At one point, she will have to do a 5C or jump 5C, and that's really risky for her. And you can actually mash or graze out of that. You have to look out when she tries to get greedy mid.
Oh yeah, I guess so. But what, like, she does have melee cancels. That can be pretty bad. But well, that
Of
doesn't
course,
only
of course.
apply
That's
to
why
my
she.
turn.
That's why she needs Ice Car at probably most matchups.
Yeah,
'cause it
Ice
covers
Car is
her.
incredibly good.
But you can border escape Ice Car. You can like force an Ice Car early, and you just escape.
Mhm.
Just be patient.
Oh yeah, and while we are at this, what do you guys, both Gup and Chiru, what do you guys think about her skill cards and spell cards? Are there any favorites you have? Anything you hate?
We don't know because they all look the same.
Yes, that's a valid problem for me.
Oh,
At least.
Cerno sprites, please.
Yeah.
Okay, so which one are we talking
Just
about?
take whatever you want. What do you run in your decks and why do you run them? Like, is there anything you think every Cerner should run, or is she more freeform?
Well, I think Cirno needs a melee skill, like to catch BE, like to prevent your opponent from like being your jump to A, like jump 6A. Like you need a melee skill. So the two options for this are either Ice Charge or Ice Cold Sword. And in my opinion, you need one of these in your deck.
Mhm.
I agree.
Do you personally prefer Ice Card or the Ice Sword?
No, Ice Car is a good it's a good a combo ender in the air. It's a really good combo ender. And but Ice Cold Sword is probably the best. I would say it's the best 6-3 because like if you're gonna use some spell cards like Perfect Freeze or level 3 Ice Kick, like I'd say you need the Ice Cold Sword. And it's good for combos, and it can catch. It's good for aerial pressure because it can catch bees like above Cirno. Like Ice Charge can only catch bees if you're at the same height. I don't know.
Mhm.
For me,
You know,
I just
you
use.
know- Should I? Well, let me just cut it quick. So, while you're talking about cards, I'm having the deck constructor open, and now I'm thinking: is using the coin with Cerner actually a good idea, or is it less useful because her melees don't have range anyway? So,
Well, you
at
can
most,
use,
I will have to jump away after using the coin.
you can use coin with 5C.
Oh, right. I didn't think of that. Good idea. Yeah. Okay, now go on.
I was gonna talk about that. I just use Ice Car with Ice Sword in the same deck, so I can cover every angle. Also, because people like to rush down, and I want to keep them away. It's just really good to have that combination. Not only
Yes.
that, Ice Car is like air usable only on level 2. So having a backup Ice Sword can help me early until I find the level 2 Ice Car.
Like you need you should have something to cancel your jump 5C if your opponent tries to graze it. Like both of these skill cards are options like Ice Charge and Ice Cold Sword. And Cirno's Alt 236 can be used for that too, because that laser one, because its duration is so long, and your opponent probably won't be able to graze.
It has a lot of grave resistance, that's for sure.
Yes.
Any other cards you would like to mention, like?
Oh,
Because right now we only have 15 minutes left anyway, so just keep talking about cards. That's perfect.
I'm gonna be a bit weird on this, but my favorite spell card, because I use ice swords pretty much everywhere. I like to cancel ice swords into freeze atmosphere, also known as Cirno's Tomahawk. It's actually my favorite spell card.
Really? Is it that great?
I'm not gonna say it's great, but it's not bad either. And that's what people keep thinking, that it's bad. It helps you recover if you want to overcome it, like let's say 6-3, the C version where she launches herself into the air, where it's really unsafe if you whiff it, or sometimes you just can't combo with it, like you can't blue limit and they air tech. You can just do that, freeze atmosphere, and you'll just continue with the flow. You'll still have an advantage. Also, you can use it as Oki, especially on Diamond Dust.
And there's an interesting fact about this card too. Is that when it's active, if you manage to get your opponent to respecting the startup of this spell card, like when it's active, it's completely negates push blocks. So if you just spam far away or 2-way while it's active, your opponent won't be able to be, because you can catch it like with far away or 2-way.
So yeah, have you mentioned all the cards? Well, about when we were talking about cards, what I really like the most is her grab. Like, the frozen technique, I love it because first of all, it's a grab in Soku and they don't exist at all. Also, I have issues with pressure, and that's why this thing helps out immensely. I just don't know if you have experimented enough around with it. Is it worth leveling it fully, or should you just have like it at level 1 or 2 just to get some pressure going?
I would say that when it comes to grabs, well, they're not technically grabs, but I want to be pedantic about it.
Yeah.
More like unblockables. But I would say that Cirno's quote-unquote grab is probably the best one in the game. That's my opinion. Also, it kind of is worth it to level it up, because it just gets faster. And it's harder.
That's fast.
It gets faster. Not only that, but it looks like her other moves, because, Cirno has no sprite. So it's kind of like a mix-up. When she raises her hand, what's she gonna use? It's gonna be 6A or 5B or 6B, or it's gonna be grab. You're gonna guess wrong almost every time.
Like the thing about frozen technique is that Cirno doesn't really need it, because Cirno's pressure is already really strong. So and if you level up it, you're losing one of the only bullets with long range that Cirno has, which is default 2-2. Like and like if people are not used to play against it, but once you get used to play against it, like it's not that hard to escape, graze it, and like the default 2-2 is really good. Like I think Cirno doesn't need it, but you can use it. Like I just don't like it.
I'm usually more of a fan of the other alt, the air mines. For
How
the
do
reason being,
these work? Like, what's their appeal?
Well, Cirno sometimes doesn't have a way to hit someone that's below her without without a jump to A. If you want something to hit below you, you don't really have a lot of options. Air mines can be aimed downwards. That sometimes can really help. I call them air mines, but they're called icicle bombs.
Yes, an icicle bomb is good for block strings because it can deal like up to 1.5 spirit orb damage at level 1 in block strings, and like it's a good card. It's like a defensive zoning skill card. Like if your opponent is close to you, you just use it. Then if he can't graze it correctly, you just get knocked down. If it doesn't counter hits, like it's a really good card. It can be used in many ways. Like I like it.
Alright, I guess we've said everything we can in that time about the cards, so I think we should try to close it out.
I would say most of Chino's skill set are pretty much, most of them are really good. I would say that. But her problem is that she needs them really fast. That's her problem. Like her default tool set kind of sets her backwards, in a way. So for example, against someone who rushes you down, you need Ice Car really fast, or Ice Sword. Or against someone who is very good at zoning, you might need the default to do BC, so you can actually shoot something from range, or Icicle Lance.
So here you have to be really flexible in terms of deck building, so you can counter different matchups, like more than other characters at least.
You have to always have a deck ready for a certain playstyle or a certain character. And that's also daunting for a new player, because you always have to pick something else to make your matchup easier. But overall, her skill sets are pretty solid.
Alright, and since we now reached the end of the podcast, let's just have people ask us questions, whatever they like. We have got like a few minutes left, like the tourney should start in 10 minutes, unless I got completely fooled because someone told me it's about to start right now.
No, we are on time actually.
Speaking of which, I'm posting the challenge link right there. We have only 18 participants, but 28 people actually watch this podcast, so I know there's some of you are lacking in there.
Yes, remember, today is a big meme day for the two communities, so might as well join in on the horrible memery. As an added bonus, the tourney starts at 9 p.m. for me, Morph, and Genki.
Wow.
Maximum meme achieved.
Yeah.
Test planned that.
Sure.
That was just all part of his plan.
He hates us.
Calculated.
I had a few more videos to show off to you guys, but I can only show
Oh,
a couple at this point.
Yeah, go.
So,
So anyone has any question to us, to the guests, about Cirno, about whatever?
Well, there let me just ask Chirumiru. So I noticed at the beginning you were a bit quieter, but at the end you really eased up low. How did you like the podcast in the end? Was it fun? Was it a little too weird? Like, how do you feel? I ask that every guest.
Well, I was a bit nervous at the beginning, but I really liked it. It was cool. Like,
It's
it was a great opportunity.
And you, Gup, I mean, this is your second one. You already know what to expect.
Oh, I was ready.
You were ready for the chaos.
Well, not
Yes.
exactly ready. I have to thank Chirumiru for being here, because I cannot cover like everything. I'm just an alt in the end. So I'm really thankful. I'm really thankful for him for being here.
If you have to blame anyone, it's all those Cirno mains who watch this episode and are not in the podcast. I mean, goddamn it.
Lazy bastards. Oh yeah.
We
Chiru,
had 3 people.
Chiru, I would also like to ask. I hope you weren't too bothered by our complete lack of organization.
Hey, what do you say? Actually, this was the best prepared episode ever, and then we got cut 1 hour short than usual.
Thank
Oh,
you,
yeah.
Tasiro. Thank you.
I mean, we had the whole all the topics and the whole chart. It was ready 3 days prior to the podcast day. That's a record, actually. So yeah, we don't get any questions here. Wow, that's pretty sad. But I guess people are probably preparing or taking a break before the tourney.
Yes, I'm sure that after this podcast, everyone will just completely destroy everyone else in this tourney.
Yeah, I mean, we even asked about Cirno mirrors there, so let's see if people can actually use that knowledge. And for fuck's sake, don't let Blaze win this.
Yes, stop the blaze, please. How long can this go on?
All right, for the next episode, what should we actually do? I think we had the character vote and Iku won. I don't think it's necessary to hold another straw poll, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we will hold it after the episode and we kind of see what happens.
Yeah, and as usual, we're just going to shill all possible tourneys. I mean, Soku set wasn't announced yet, but yeah, I just posted the link to the Bucker Brawl, and I guess next week we're going to have Dream Chasses, right? Or is it going to be the beginner's tourney now? Genki?
I think
Is Dream Chasers going to be next week, or is it going to be Scrubby
sorry, I
Fridays?
got distracted. Okay, I got distracted. Okay, so I announced the DC right about probably now. Once we close out the stream, I'll be announcing the new Dream Chaser. Dream Chasers 11 Massacre at the Demon's Gate, which will be thanks. Which will be next Friday. We have a new banner. We have the new rules again, etc. And Morphman is the champion this time, so yeah, try to beat him up. No, you don't have to, but I hope people will try to beat you up. You can win.
Also, let me shout at people again. I just checked back at the challenge, and the player count has not increased. You people, sign up now. I will say your waifu is shit next episode.
Yeah, do we have anything else to Cirno tourney is right about now. Next week we have next podcast will be the 12th, and we will talk about Iku, unless the Stropole got another character on top, but I doubt it.
Nope, it's the same.
Okay, then we will talk about Iku next time.
And then you can prepare for having to listen to Fierce voice again. You know, everyone loves it.
Gotcha.
We will have also the bomb, pretty sure. So the bomb and Zero. The bomb and Fear.
Fear.
Yeah, thanks. What else?
I think that's it.
Hold on, let me speak here.
Sure.
Alright,
No.
so to anybody who is new to the Soku Discord or just new to Soku Podcast in general, if you needed any more Soku content, we got a bunch of streamers around. We got people like Shigetsu. We got people like Lion May Cry. I invite you to check these guys out because they stream a lot of Soku. Also, if you wanted more Cirno content, I do have a lot more videos that I just can't show off right now. You can just ask me about
post it in the main channel.
I'll just post a list on Discord, and if you're interested in more Cirno like information, like matchups, like spell cards, we do have a Cirno server that you might be interested in. And if you haven't joined the Discord already, you can check a link below, and you can find an invite there.
Let's just thank again our guests for actually helping us out, because as you saw from the pre-podcast shenanigans that we are lacking a little bit Cirno knowledge there.
Hey Tessiro, go check the ending of the last episode. There you go.
Roasted.
Okay, I guess we can slowly start closing on with this. I would also like to thank Chiru and Gup for being here. Absolute pleasure to work with you guys.
Thank you
guys.
We really we definitely needed a Cirno. And oh boy, what about the next time about Sana or any other character?
We'll worry about it when we get there.
I guess. Okay.
Yeah, what happens, happens. So yeah, I guess this is it. Thank you
Let's
everyone
just
very
post
much for
the
watching.
link to Tesro's stream so you can
Oh,
click right away
yeah.
there.
I mean, he's on top of the fucking user list because he's a mod, so the stream is gonna show up anyway.
Alright.
Thanks for our guest to be being here, and thanks for you guys being here. So I guess we can close it out.
Yes, please
Oh, finally.
have a nice rest of this Mimi Cirno day.
All right, guys. See you later.
Bye, everyone.
Guys.